from a year ago, what I would probably change would get into video faster and sooner, get into TikTok faster, social media more faster. I'd say try to hire the right people, try to expand the team faster. I'd say those are kind of the points that I should have been doing years ago.
I used to chase the ROI all the time, return on investment. And over the course of time, that has evolved into what I call return on life.
Hey everyone, this is Randy Dyck here on the Return on Life podcast. It's not always about chasing the ROI, but of course, chasing the return on life. And today I've got an amazing guest, Andy Yao out of New Hampshire. I think I'm pronouncing this right, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Is that correct?
It's Portsmouth. I made that same mistake when I moved over here.
It says mouth, but it's actually Smith. Okay.
Portsmouth, exactly. That's the really weird part of that.
Awesome. And you're with Remax out there in New Hampshire, and you're an amazing agent, qualified to be part of the 30 under 30, and we're going to get into a bit of that. So just a really awesome agent, very analytical, very sharp on crunching numbers and doing that kind of thing. But first off, I want to just dive in and let you share a little bit about what you did before you got your real estate license, and then what motivated you to actually get your license. So share a little bit about your past, your present, and where you're going, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. So before real estate, I started a jean denim company called A Kings New York. Very successful, but I decided that it wasn't the right career path for me. My partner has taken it to a whole nother level. So it's an incredible company, and so I decided to take a different journey, and I was looking for something more entrepreneurial. I have a finance background. So it was either I kind of go the corporate route, or I decided to go a more entrepreneurial route. So I decided to take my license. And when I moved to New Hampshire, it was kind of like that stepping change.
Interesting. I came from retail as well. So I worked at a clothing store before real estate, and then a sports shop and a high-end sports shop. So I got into all that technical gear, and you'll learn so much. About how and what to do when people are asking questions. So I'm sure you learned a lot of skills.
Oh, absolutely.
What were some of the skills that you brought from your denim business that just translate so easy into real estate?
So our company grew based on a couple of factors. It was sales, the marketing. So the marketing aspect, we did a lot of social media marketing. We did a lot of collaborations with celebrities and influencers, photographers, and that was one part of the aspect that we had to get really, really good at, was the marketing piece. Knowing how to use social media, and the other part was the sales piece. You had to sell your product. You have to door knock. You have to cold call these businesses to buy your product, and we had to follow up constantly, show them why our product was very sought out. And so we created a database of all the boutiques in the area of New York, and so we targeted them individually. And I transferred those techniques of sales and marketing to real estate, and so you can see some of my sales with some of the clients and farming that we do, and also our marketing that we do.
That's awesome. I always think to myself, anyways, when I was really, really young, it seemed like I was afraid of nothing and I would tackle anything. And then you kind of go through a phase where you start thinking about things rather than just acting on it. But at that young age, like, when did you start the clothing business?
17.
Yeah. 17. Yeah. 17. No fear, right?
Yep.
No fear. And, I often think of, as we gain, a little bit more wisdom, we actually start putting fear in every decision. And fear can be a friend, a foe, sometimes, a disruptor of all your inner thinking of how you're going to get things done. But you obviously had no fear at 17.
Oh, absolutely. If you have fear, you won't be able to accomplish what your dreams, really. So I think, if you do what you want and kind of go for it.
That's awesome. And has that translated into your real estate business today? Like you still think like I'm just going for it, or do you kind of question some of the things that you're making decisions on as far as marketing, ad spend, expenses here and there, or you just go for it?
I think, it's definitely had translated really well because now you can put up a business plan and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is going to give me X return. So I think that it has set me up pretty well. There's always things to be learned in real estate, and that's putting together management skills or building a team. And so those are things that, you grow, you learn as you grow.
Yeah, right on. And are you building a team today?
Yes.
So what does that look like? What's Team Andy look like today?
So, I'm still a very individual agent. We did 60 sides last year as an individual agent. So, it's still something that I'm growing with. It's hiring is not easy, as I know a lot of people are. Training, hiring, and then managing is also a very hard task. So we're in the progress of seeking out buyer agents, listing agents. We have all the marketing intact. So I do have an administrative support. So that's someone that helps me, a transaction coordinator that also helps me. So that's currently my current team, but we're definitely looking to grow, more people on the team.
Sounds like you're super busy. And sometimes, on this podcast, Return on Life, we talk about balance.
Yep.
What does that look like? But, there's this saying that goes something like this: balanced life equals broke.
I love that. That's a good saying.
Balanced life equals broke. So how does it work for you, Andy? How do you make it work? You're an individual agent, 60 ends or 60 transactions is a lot of business. You're doing all that. You've got some things from the past. You're young. You still want to go out and have some fun and
absolutely.
People. How do you balance it all? How do you get return on life as well as the return on investment with your time?
Right. So I'd say I'm a workaholic. So I'm still working toward that return on life aspect of it. I believe in, if you work hard when you're young, you'll get that back when you are a little older. And so we're still starting slowly to working on that. I think one of the aspects is to diversify your incomes, build that team so you can get your time back. So it's not something that I've completely have mastered yet.
Let's go back to the first thing you said. I'm a workaholic. And I can say that I'm a workaholic too, but you can see I've got a little bit of gray hair, so I'm learned a few things along the way. And you mentioned earlier that you were born in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Then you moved to New York and now New Hampshire. Where do you get that work ethic? Where did that come from? Was that from the environments that you're in? Was that from your family, watching a mentor? Like, where did that work ethic and that workaholic piece come in? Because a lot of people don't have it and I feel like that less and less people actually have that today. Where did it come from?
I mean, I'd say growing up, our family was okay. We weren't well off or anything like that. But growing up, wanting to have a better life for my family, for my parents, I think that's one of my goals. In the coming years to try to retire them. I think that it's just based on one person's goals. What are they trying to do in their life? I think one of my goals is to kind of change the world and make it better, leave a lasting impact, and that's one of my goals. And I think that not being able to accomplish that is it's something that I really want to be able to accomplish. And so that's one of my driving purposes to be working so hard. And, there's multiple other reasons, but I'd say, the two main purposes is making a lasting impact and supporting my parents.
Wow, that's very noble. We all need a little bit of purpose and why in our lives. I do a course on that. And so it's always great when I hear somebody that's already got that kind of laid out and organized in their lives. Because I find a lot of people, they go through life and I meet them in their 40s and 50s and they still don't quite know what their why or their purpose is. Yeah. What has driven you to come to that conclusion, and I'm going to say at a young age, to really find the purpose, and then of course helping your parents as well? What's driven that for you?
I'd say it's you don't live forever, right? And so if you don't really have a why or a purpose to kind of go for it, then it's kind of pointless. And so I'd say, what's driven to it, it's there's a lot more things to the world than just working a 9 to 5. There's it's multiple aspects. So I'd say, being able to change that world, being able to help my family, and also, be able to retire early. I think that's also another aspect that I'm looking forward to.
Cool. Okay, let's dive into real estate a little bit. What's your daily schedule look like? What's life for Andy? When does it start in the morning? When does it end? What's all the good stuff in between?
Yep. So, being in real estate, you do have kind of a flexible schedule, but in terms of daily life, I try to get up around 7 a.m. There's days, we sleep over until 8. Then we, check my emails, make my calls, go on appointments. Usually the weekends are packed with open houses or showings, but I think my daily basis entails with meeting with clients, calling clients, emails, making sure my transactions are smooth, inspections, appraisals, and whatnot. Pretty much that's most of my day, 5 days a week.
Awesome.
7 days a week. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything unique to anything that you do that's maybe different than somebody else in the marketplace that you're working in, whether it be the way you handle open houses, the way you work with your clients? Is there something unique that you should share with our audience?
Yeah. So I do a lot of video. So we've been implementing a lot of video marketing. We do 2-minute videos on our listings, and we shoot that down to less than a minute for a reel for engagement purposes. And we do a lot of targeted ads, which really helps with the exposure. This could be, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Instagram ads. And so I also specialize in multifamily properties. And so, I help people, become financially free through multifamily investing. I think that's a really great thing. And also being able to kind of relate to other investors and be able to talk the same numbers.
Yeah, right on. If you can run numbers and talk numbers, it's a pretty easy conversion when you've got the right buyer across the table from you.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's awesome. So what have you learned maybe in the last year that, or even 2 or 3 years, that you go, if I could go back in time, I would certainly change this, or I would incorporate this if you could go back in time? Is there anything that you would do in your business of real estate today? Would you do more video? Would you have started earlier? Would you picked a different sphere of influence, or would you have picked different clients to work with? Anything that.
Yeah, I mean, you have some good clients and some really bad clients. I mean, I'd say every client makes you, any bad experience is always a good experience because you learn from it. I'd say, from a year ago, what I would probably change would, get into video faster and sooner, get into TikTok faster, social media more faster. I'd say try to hire the right people, try to expand the team faster. I'd say those are kind of the points that I should have been doing years ago.
And so, knowing what you know today, which platform would you spend the most time on when it comes to social? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, which where you find the best traction?
I say Facebook is still my number one platform. Your Facebook ads are always one of the best conversions. I'd say, Facebook, you can target a large audience of people without using any ads. You'll have your large friend list. You have a large Facebook groups. You have multiple Facebook groups online that you can post. And your engagement rate on Facebook is also very high. And it's also on the right audience in terms of age. I think TikTok, you're hitting more Gen Z, but there is a large population base on TikTok. I believe like 40% of the population has a TikTok account. So I do think that's a great platform, great, but you're also very limited in a sense that you can only do videos.
Right. The thing with TikTok is that probably about 10 or 15% of realtors are on TikTok. So I think you have a pretty good opportunity there to gain some big market share in your.
Oh, absolutely. I think in the next 5 years, when the Gen Z is older to be able to purchase properties, whoever was the first starter in TikTok, having a following base in TikTok would probably be have it be in an advantageous spot.
Yeah. Let's talk about gifts, because we all have gifts. God gives us some gifts. Some of us get one gift. I'm going to say I got maybe one or two gifts. Others get more. What are some of the gifts that you have, or let's call them superpowers, gifts, whatever. What is a superpower or a gift that Andy has?
I'd say I'm incredibly lucky to be able to be doing real estate and being able to learn about real estate. I think that real estate was kind of a life-changing event, and definitely has changed my life. I think that's definitely a great gift from that was given to me. Being able to learn real estate, being able to learn finance, being able to be financially savvy and being educated. I think that's a good gift.
Cool. Can I go back? Born in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Living in New York, starting the denim business in New York.
Yeah.
How did you end up in New Hampshire? Like, why New Hampshire?
Yeah, so New Hampshire is a population of 1.3 million people. And so, it's a fraction of what it is of New York City, for that matter. And people always ask me why. And so when I was, doing my research on which states to move in, I needed kind of like a refresh, a new change. New Hampshire stood out. It was the number 2 best state to live in, according to some rankings. And it's also one of the states that have no income tax. So you're the only state in the East Coast. There's Florida, there's Texas, but the only state in the East Coast that has no income tax. And being in finance and trading in the stock market, that was huge because New York had a 13% state tax. New Hampshire had 0. So that was one of my reasons I decided to move to New Hampshire, and I decided to pick the best city in New Hampshire was Portsmouth, and that was what made my move. I love it ever since. It's an incredible state.
What's the average price, the median price in Portsmouth?
Median price in Portsmouth is around $600,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have a vision board?
No, I don't. I mean, I think I envision it every single day, like not every single day, but I think I know what you mean by that. It's, your goals and where you want to be. And I envision it quite a lot because I think that's an important aspect.
I like your answer. I like your answer because I think our imagination is the most powerful vision board that we have. And
Oh,
the most
absolutely.
vivid. I mean, we can take a picture of the beautiful sunset or the sunrise, and it's just never the same as what we've seen through our eyes. We can show that picture to whoever, but it's never what we saw with our own eyes. So I think it's really important what you shared is continue to always envision, what that looks like, what your life wants, what you want your life to look like, things, places, people that you want in your life. Always keep bringing that up. So I like your answer. I like your answer a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you've had this business idea of travel, of denim, now of real estate. Is real estate the biggest and best idea you've had?
No, I think that real estate is kind of the stepping stone to my the next thing that I want to do. I think that we currently have an issue with affordability of housing, and there's just not enough supply in this market. And what I want to do, going forward, and haven't got there yet, but I do want to try to figure out this the crisis of affordability. So if we can try to figure out how to make housing more affordable at some point, that's pretty much my next venture that I would like to do.
That's a brave adventure. Brave venture.
It's big, yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to share on that? How you see us overcoming affordability and the crisis of real estate? I mean, I'm sure it's similar to what's happening around North America, where supply is limited. Is supply limited in your local market?
Yeah, pretty tight. I think our local market's down almost 50% of new listings year over year, which is very, very tight.
Wow. And one of the problems I foresee is that we're kind of overregulated, and getting something approved is almost an endless journey of frustration.
True.
So that's happening everywhere. So I'm just curious, do you have any great ideas?
We're still thinking it. I know I have some time to kind of think about that process, but what I see some of these companies out there are doing with Boxable, I think that's also with the tiny homes and 3D printing. I think that's an incredible technological advancement at this time, and I think that if we can somehow utilize that and make it more mass through the population, that would definitely help. But I mean, it's going to be, it's not something in stone at the moment at this time, but it's something that I'm trying to work towards. So.
Right on. I think one day we'll see a 600 square foot house that looks literally or plays out, feels like it's like 12, 14, 1,500 square feet because of the way that we'll design them.
Right.
Have, virtual rooms within rooms kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that is the future, where we're going to see very small homes, but they feel very large.
Oh, that would be definitely incredible. I look forward to that that day.
Mm-hmm. So what's the biggest challenges that you think yourself will face in real estate in the next 1 to 3 years? Any big challenges coming up, you think?
I'd say, challenges would be, there is a supply issue for real estate. I think the housing issues aren't going to improve. And we're, going forward, I think that's going to continue to be a problem. And I think that will be a challenge for realtors just to have any inventory to sell. But in terms of, my challenge, I'd say, also building that team would be one of those challenges. And being able to return of life. So I'd say that's one of the things I have to start working on.
Cool. Hey, let's stay there. Return on life. So who is Andy uninterrupted? Who are you uninterrupted? So what I mean by that is the phone isn't ringing. In fact, you don't even have the phone. it's just you and the quiet. Who is Andy? The quiet?
Yeah, I mean, during my free time, when I have free time, it's um, I do a lot of travel. We do a lot of photography. I love to sightsee. I love to take pictures of sunset, sunrises. I think those are always incredible moments. Yep, love it, love it. I think that being able to connect with friends, socialize, I think that's spend time with family. That's also an incredible thing, and that's something that love to be working forward to.
Okay, here's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
Baking or cooking, how would you describe your business? So baking is very precise. You have to put the right ingredients in at the right time, and you don't know how it's going to turn out until you finish baking it.
Right.
Where cooking is kind of like winging it. Let's add a little bit of this, taste it, Who's Andy? Are you a baker or are you the chef making some dish that you're just testing it as it goes on? What does your look like?
I'd say I am the cooker at the moment. Yeah, working on the baking part. I think that's the awesome goal to look forward to.
Yeah, baking's more of a science.
Yeah.
Where cooking's more freelancing.
Yeah, love the analogy there.
Awesome. Okay, so let's wind this down a little bit. Anything you want to share about return on life and what that means to you, that you want to make sure that our listeners get something from Andy, on return on life? Any advice that you want to give?
I'd say, time passes by really fast. I'm noticing that, as years come by, time passes by really fast, and you really do need to have that return on life and have somewhat of a balance. And I'd say, don't you waste your hours doing, pointless stuff.
When you talk to your dad about this, or your parents about this, do they say time just speeds up?
Oh, absolutely. They tell me all the time. They always say, "Hey, Andy, next thing you know, you're gonna have a kid. You're gonna, you're gonna be mid-age and much older." And they always tell me that, and they've been telling me that since I was a little kid. And you never really take that to heart until you've grown older, and you're like, they were right. So.
Yeah, I have a theory on that. As you grow older, you start realizing that you have less time, and then you're trying to compress it or find more time, so it feels like it speeds up.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're 20, you think you've got all the time in the world, and then when you're 60 or 70, all of a sudden, like, oh my goodness, I can see the end.
Right.
You're feeling that time speeds up.
Different change of events on as you age.
That's right. Yeah. Well, let's go into a speed round. This is a little bit of a speed round. We'll finish up with a speed round. So what would you pick? If you had an experience this evening to go out and dine, would it be fine dining, takeout, or a home-cooked meal?
A good fine dining experience is always good.
Okay.
I would probably take that. Yeah.
So I gave you those three options. It'd be a fine dining experience.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What's your go-to when you want to let your hair down? You want to go and just let loose. What do?
Travel. I'd say, traveling is definitely one of the things that I do to let loose, go to one of those spots that I've never gone before. And I think that's definitely a good.
Craziest place you've gone to, or the most amazing experience you've gone to? Crazy or best experience?
I'd say every experience is great. Every experience has their own moments. I've been to Australia. I think that was an incredible experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Australia's high up there. That's awesome. What's your favorite band?
My favorite band. I don't listen to much music. I mean, I do listen to music. My radio is always on. I don't think I have a particular favorite band at the moment. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just go with none then.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry to disappoint the audience there.
No problem. Do you prefer text, talk, or email?
Email. Emails are great because you choose when to respond to them. You don't need to get back to them right away. I think email is you can do multiple emails at once, and it's I think the most efficient process.
Okay. Audible or book?
Book.
Do you have any favorite books that you'd like to share?
Um, um, yeah, I mean, sorry, I can't think of the book from the top of my mind, but yeah, I mean, the reason why I choose book over Audible is just because it's always better to have a physical copy. I always feel that physical copy is always the better of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Last question, a bit of a trick question.
Sure.
If you were a scratch and sniff sticker,
Yeah.
so if you were a scratch and sniff sticker, so here's a sticker, you scratch it,
Yeah.
and you sniff it. What is the smell that Andy's going to give off? And I'll give you a couple of minutes or a couple seconds to think about this. I'm a kite surfer. I love to go to the beach. I love the smell of the sand and the ocean breeze and all that. So my scratch and sniff sticker is going to be a pina colada with the ocean breeze smell.
Oh, that's awesome. That's incredible. That's
What's
incredible.
your scratch and sniff sticker, Andy? Not denim. Is it denim?
Denim would have a good smell to it. I love blueberries. So, let's put blueberry in there. I love the ocean. But we could we can say it's blueberry ocean breeze.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and one last question. What's the most important or best lesson that you've learned in your life that you still live by today, that you've taken that lesson and you incorporate it into your day today?
Live with integrity, always be honest. It's always good to be good with people. It's always good to be nice to people because there's ways for it to come back around to you. I do believe in karma, so I think that it's always good to be great with people.
Great answer. Great answer. Hey, well, for everybody, I am so excited. We have an amazing guest, Andy Yao from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Just an amazing agent, qualified for the 30 under 30, 60 deals last year, 60 ends. So just an amazing agent. Thank you so much, Andy, for joining me. You've been a great guest and just can't wait to see this podcast out there. If you see this podcast and you listen to it, please do share it. Andy's got a lot of social media following as well. So check out Andy on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And what other, are you YouTube as well?
YouTube, yep, we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, every social media platform, Twitter, Snapchat, you name it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Andy, for joining me.
Well, Randy, thank you for hosting. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed this experience, and I look forward to it.
Fantastic. Thank you.